Hello everybody, here is DNA Games and welcome to another video from the life and suffering of Sir Brante. Last time we've actually decided to follow the path of the priests, and now we'll have to move on and see what this choice will do to our life. Yeah, Shield of the Old Faith. Now at age 18. Year 1136, winter, the trial of the 50. You have lived another year in the capital. Eterna has been shaken by what is now known as the trial of 50. 50 people stand trial at once, all prominent members of several political circles. They are accused of treason and conspiracy against the crown. The accused spoke in favor of reducing the power of the noble and granting more rights to the common estate. There was no mention of rebellion, yet those words alone were enough to indicate them. Every session of the trial is open to the public. It is a show of power made to discourage people from forming such circles ever again. You attend one of those sessions. The 50 face their verdict: forced labor in the mines of Magra and Illyria for regular members and true death for their leaders, 6 men and 1 woman. Their public execution takes place in the central square of Eterna. You remember the woman. Her name was Sirin. She made a speech before her execution. A young woman, not too tall, her face almost pale, with long bangs over her eyes. She looks calm even at this moment. She cannot believe she's about to leave this world forever. Sirin takes a look around before she speaks. Her voice is quiet, but you are close enough to hear every single word. She says she is happy to give her life fighting for the rights of the people. Her cause will never die. Annie claims others like her will continue their work in hiding, for their cause is right and just. She is dragged away to the others. They put a sack over her head and tighten a noose around her neck. A hand yanks on the lever and 7 dangle in the air. Their feet tremble at first, then grow still. There are gasps and cries of discontent in the crowd. So power, we have -2, struggle for power, and we have order +1, we are discontent again. The Black Book. Let's only see here. So we took Shield of the Old Faith. There are plenty of other events that can happen, some that we already rejected. Your studies at the seminary continue. You assist with the preparation for the church holiday and study the accounts of the twins' lives and the sacred scriptures. The seminary sends some of its students on a pilgrimage to the holy sites of the empire to follow in the footsteps of one of the twins. A large group of pilgrims returned to the seminary several weeks after your study began. Among the students in the group is a young woman who looks familiar. She holds her head high as her brown eyes filled with wisdom and strength study you attentively. She approaches you first. It is Jane. You met her in the past by the silver tree in Anisode. Jane was but an acolyte at the temple by the tree at that time. But now she is in Eterna like you, almost ready to complete her studies. I remember you. I'm glad you're here. So you found your way to the priesty lot after all. It is nice to see a familiar face from your former life. You start spending more time with Janine, praying and reading the secret scriptures together. Most of the time you discuss theology, but the more you learn about each other, the more you start discussing your lives before the seminary. You tell her how Mother prepared you to serve the twins ever since you were a child, from daily prayers to following your lot in everything. As for me, I don't know who my parents are. I grew up in an orphanage by the temple. Studying at the seminary has been my goal since as long as I can remember. The priests were kind to me, and now it is my sacred duty to serve the twins. With the first term exams now behind you, you are allowed to visit the antiquarium, a special storage chamber for sacred relics and artifacts that harken back to the history of faith. You invite Janine to go there with you. The inside of the antiquarium is quiet. The items you see beyond the glass panes and on the shelves are nothing short of amazing. One thick rug tome is an original work inked by Isatius. You see old images of the twins' likeness faded with time. You behold the lash used in the very first sacrament for the lowborn lot. The relics made of silver, the twins' blessed metal, are kept in a separate chamber. You take some time poring over those handcrafted sacred symbols. The shelves on the opposite wall are covered with silver colors, large and small. They are so elegant. The things we make are much simpler nowadays, always cast from silver, not forged by hand. Look, those old colors even had name stamps into the silver. Another wall is covered with thin silver slabs. Prayers to the twins etched into the metal. After taking the priest's sacrament, any priest may use such a silver slab to call the gods' power down upon their foes and work wonders, even outside the temple grounds. Do you think these might be copies? Silver slabs disappear when they are used, don't they? Just imagine the temptation, working wonders anywhere just like that. There is one more chamber at the furthest end of the antiquarium, with only one relic within it. The only room here that is guarded. Your voices trail off when Janine and you feel the eyes of the chamber guard upon you. He bears a scroll with a silver seal on his cassock. an Inquisitor. What the Inquisitor is guarding is a black book, its page blackened seemingly by fire. The book lies inside the spacious cage forged of time-faded silver. You are not allowed to approach it, the Inquisitor says. What is it, you ask? The Inquisitor sighs and glances at the silver cage with worry and scorn. This is the most dangerous and vile of all relics in the land, he says. It's a monument to the Dark Ages when Arcanians used to fight one another for power, a time when one of the great Arcanian dynasty defied the twins' chosen Tempest. The Arcanian who owned this book was Charmilandis. Driven by helpless rage, he scourged the land of Magra and ravaged the Imperial army with a terrible curse. But the twins' power stripped him of his dark sorcery, and the Holy Order brought him down. The book within this cage contains his sinister spells. What the Inquisitor says seems unbelievable. The book you have read say that all Milandis relics were destroyed. He explains, however, apparently the book was utterly impossible to immolate. Even with God's divine aid, the countless raging fire it was subjected to could only blacken the page with ash but not destroy them. The dark magic remains within the book, preserving its blasphemous sorcery. But the book alone was not enough. The rebellious Duke turned his very land into a weapon by destroying it. The Holy Order, the Sword of the Twins, surrounded Milande's forces along with the Imperial army. Their victories were numerous, for true fate guided them towards the city of Anizout. With no other way to prolong the war and nourish his magical powers, the rebellious Duke squeezed all life from the land of Magra and transformed it into dark sorcery. And so the province of Magra, ruled by Charmilandis, became an infertile desert during the war. The people of Milandis began dying from sickness and famine, and many fled to the neighboring lands. Yet this evil act did little to stop the twins' true believers. By the prayer of the priests, the gods took away the dark magic of Charmilandis and dispelled the accursed sorcery he had wrought. The Holy Order dealt swiftly with the remnants of Milandis' army, while the Inquisition captured all the mages and witches hiding in Anizout. Charmilandis himself was executed as an oathbreaker possessed by heresy, who had destroyed the fertile lands of Magra and starved thousands of subjects to death. By worry of magic, for magic is an ungodly power that distorts and plagues all it touches, and so must be eradicated, the Inquisitor concludes. Those words seem to affect Janine deeply. She turns pale and walks out of the room containing the encaged book. You thank the priest for his story and follow her. You find the poor girl sitting on a bench in the park by the temple, her face hidden in her arms. You lightly tap her on the shoulder and ask what is troubling her. When I came to Eterna, I wasn't alone, you know. I had a friend, almost a sister. Her name is Ailis. I had one goal here, to serve the twins, but she wanted to be an actress. I argue against it, told her acting was a defiance of her lot, but Elise wouldn't listen. She's performing in taverns now and in markets on holidays. I went to one of her performances once, just the other day, in fact, and I saw her eyes glowing yellow. Every time her eyes flashed, the people would applaud her. She's not just defying the lot, she's using magic. Elise is practicing the dark arts, confounding people's minds with sorcery. I was far enough away, her spell didn't reach me. I want to, but I can't tell the Inquisition about her. Elise is my only real friend in the world, and she's a witch. I don't know what to do. Janine's shoulders tremble with anxiety. Her brown eyes are red with tears, and she looks at you, hoping for guidance that will save her from error. What will you tell Janine? So we can tell no one about the list. The twins are law, and yet twins are love as well. It would be best to give Janine's friend a chance to reconcile with the twins on her own. So that would save Elise. Will get scheming, Janine steadfast in her faith, and Elise joins the troop. Or we can inform the Inquisitor. Janine's zealous and Elise true death, and we get valor +1. Those who wield magic are dangerous. They must be kept away from people. Or we could, you convince Janine to give counsel to her friend and guide her to the right path. Janine is not a priestess yet, but it is her sacred duty nevertheless. So I can do this. So I could do this or this, but in the past I assisted my friend, but this girl is not my friend, and now I'm shield of the old faith, so I will inform the Inquisitor. You get closer to Janine and speak to her calmly and confidently. The twins abhor all magic, you say, and so every mage or witch must wear a collar to keep temptation at bay and entrust their power, body, and life to the Inquisition. And should they refuse, you continue, then the witch must be purified by flame in the sacred ritual, so the earthly world can purge one source of blood. So says the decree of Emperor Eric Tempest II. You look straight at Janine as you say these words. Janine drops her arm from her face and straightens herself. You're right. I almost allowed my feelings of love to distort my mind, as well as my faith in the twins and their law. I need your help. I want to convince Elise to go to the Inquisition of her own volition. If she doesn't, they will burn her for sure. You promise to help her. The following evening, you go to the Three Jugs Tavern where Janine's friend Elise performs. The hall is full of people. Many of them are here to hear Golden Voice. The Golden Voice, as she is known among her fans. The people around you appear carefree, chatting before the performance. Janine is nowhere to be seen. The performance should begin by any minute, but it does not. Growing anxious, you walk backstage and catch the sound of a familiar voice. Don't make an even bigger mistake, please. You got to understand, I just want to help you. You'll face eternal torment at the foot of a pillar if you don't change your mind. How do you not understand this? I'm a witch, but it was never my choice. What choice do I have now? Be burned at the stake by the Inquisition or become their mindless colored puppet, all for a dubious chance to spend the hereafter on the peak? No, I want to live my life my way, here and now. I want to enjoy this world and all the gift it gives. I want to make people happy and bring them joy. And if it costs me an eternity of bliss when it ends, then that's the price I'm willing to pay. But please, I'm begging you, do not take this life away from me. I have nothing else but this. It's the will of the twins that I was made like this, Janine. No one can change it. Forgive me. I love you, but I will never accept what you're saying. Then forgive me too. You swing the door open and barge into the small dressing room. A luxurious dressed young woman with golden hair looks at you in fear. Her eyes are glowing with golden light. Janine is held by two of the tavern's men servants. Their eyes are blank and emotionless. Get him! The two men let Janine go and lunge at you. One of them is holding a kitchen knife, but the other is unarmed. But he reaches you first. He slugs you so hard your legs buckle and both of you roll out of the tiny room. His hands lock onto your throat. You punch him in the face again and again, but he doesn't seem to notice your blows at all. You stop punching and start rummaging around in search of something, anything. Your fingers clutch at the neck of an empty wine bottle. You strike the bottle in sturdiness, then you strike again. The bottle is still in one piece, but the same cannot be said of your enemy's head. Blood is dripping from the fresh cut on your face. Slowly, the man falls on top of you, now heavy, immovable burden. You notice the other manservant out of the corner of your eye. He is coming toward you. His knife is ready, no emotion in his soulless eyes. You are doing all you can to get out from under the heavy body, but to no avail. The blade is risen over your face. And then the manservant stops. He squints and shakes his head as if awakening from a bad dream. The knife falls to the floor as he clutches his head and stumbles to the side. You finally manage to throw the defeated opponent off yourself and get back to your feet. Janine is standing in her dressing room holding a brass jewelry box. Elise is at her feet, collapsed, her arms splayed out and her head twisted unnaturally. The mass of golden hair is stretched across the floor, soaking in a small puddle of blood beneath her pretty head. It was a mistake. We should have told the Inquisition. My doubt nearly cost us our lives. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. A few days later, you see Janine accompanied by 3 Inquisitors. With them is Ailis, bound in chains and locked in a silver collar. Janine nods to you as they pass by. You head for the prayer room. 2 days ago, you and Janine had to fight for your lives. Was this waging war? Did you defy your lot? How will the younger judge you for your action in the hereafter? What awaits you after your true death? So I'm still weak in battle, but I have a 5 now. Year 1136, summer, the feast of the air. The capital is preparing for a great celebration, the coming of the age of Glorian Tempest, heir to the throne. Ribbons and flags flutter in the wind. The streets are scrubbed clean and the scent of flowers fills the air. You, too, set some time aside to join the celebration. It is not often that you can see the ruling family of the empire firsthand. The celebration day comes and Eterna is abuzz. A festive procession starts on the streets. Students from the college and cadets from the military academy march in front, lined up in columns, and other citizens follow suit. You join the parade around the tail of the procession. Before long, it reaches the square in front of the Emperor's palace. The ruling dynasty of Tempest observes the parade from the palace balcony. They are joined by the Emperor's highest dignitaries and province overseers. For the first time in your life, you see Emperor Uther II with your own eyes. There, high up above, the column of college students and academy cadets come to halt at the balcony and salute the Emperor with their mottos. The Emperor raises his hand in a gesture of benevolent greeting. Then his voice echoes across the square. You can hear him easily, even from so far away. I accept your gratitude, my loyal subjects. Take pride as you wield your knowledge and valor service to the Empire. All who are worthy will be ennobled by the mantle by my grace. The nobles to be cheer the Emperor's word, but then Archduke Monroe steps on the balcony and their jubilation gives way to murmurs of discontent. Everyone here remembers all too well how the ruler of Monia tried to shut down the college by force. Still, Archduke is de facto leader of Arcanian gentry. He is a force to be reckoned with, even for the Emperor. Hail, your Emperor, common folk. Be forever obedient and grateful to the good grace you do not deserve by birth. But then everyone grows silent. A young, slender Arcanian with a shy smile comes forth. There are whispers in the crowd that Prince Glorian heir of the throne, student of Cornelius, promise and the hope of the common estate. To the left of Gerion is his young brother Flavius. He is baffled at the sight of the parade below, too young to process what he is seeing. May the twins be kind to you, my future subjects. I promise to repay you in kind and help you prosper in your loyal service to the empire. Exalted by these words, the nobles to be roar as one. All hail, Prince Gerion. Another figure steps into view next to the heir. He is an Arcanian, elegantly dressed, and his mantle bears the Tempest color. He raises his arm, about to make a speech. Gaius Tempest. Long live Prince Gerion, student of the college, cadets of the academy. Time and again you have proved yourself to the empire by word and deed. Today is a day of great celebration and honor of the prince. And in honor of Prince Gerion, you must ask the emperor to guarantee forever the right of distinguished common folk to be ennobled by the mantle. So ask now. The cadets and students freeze in hesitation. They exchange glances and swear whatever to follow the words of the emperor's own brother. On the balcony high above, Prince Gerion also remains still, listening to every reaction from the crowd. Archduke Montague briskly steps into view once more. He takes several seconds to observe the crowd before he speaks. Imperial subjects, what the Emperor brother wishes to say is that you must always remember that you owe your status to the Tempest dynasty. The Emperor accepts your gratitude and sends you off with his blessing. You may leave now. Commotion and murmur spread over the crowd as some of the nobles to be refused to follow Archduke Montague's order. There are shouts heard here and there. The law! We ask for the law! The Arcanian officers and teachers of the college urged them to fall in line and reassume the parade, but tension is rising. The crowd slowly grows enraged and unruly. An Imperial Guard cavalry regiment emerges from the palace. They start slowly advancing on the crowd, hands on their swords, pushing people out of the square. The commoners are now running left and right. You too have to move away. This quickly quells the commotion in the square and the cavalry withdraws. Emperor Uther appears on the balcony again. Archduke Montague stands by his side. The square falls silent at the sight of the sovereign. My subjects, I can see how overjoyed you are for Prince Gerion, but your show of reverence and gratitude was clear enough. Now obey my will, continue the parade, and sing and praise the Tempest dynasty that has given you so much. The square obediently lines up in columns once again, and though the defiant is in past now, they resume the festival parade through the city streets. Glory to Emperor Uther, glory to Prince Gerion. overseer in power. There are year 1136 summer letter from home. There are days when we receive letters from home. Father writing is reserved. He mostly discusses events and work in Magra and writes very little about the family. It makes me proud that I managed to It makes me proud that I have managed to teach Stephan how to handle our affairs at home. Your older brother behaves impeccably at the society balls and receptions that we host. He has already made several crucial acquaintances. But Gloria has a different opinion on Stephan. She thinks her older brother is taking more and more after grandfather. Stephan is a lot like grandfather. It's in his manners, his posture, his voice. He even dressed just like him. He used to be a laugh around me, and we barely talk in the past. But now, he always blames me and tears me apart. I can't take it anymore. He walks all over me all the time and treats me like a housemaid. Mother writes to you. From her letter, you learn that Nathan just barely managed to graduate from school. It makes me sad to admit it that Nathan has none of the talent you have. The other day, he told me he won't even try to study in the capital. He said he won't be able to pass the exams. I find solace only in the nights Nathan and I sleep together reading the scriptures and our walks to the church by the silver tree. He accompanies me every time. Your sister and younger brother write about mother too, and they say the same thing about her health. She now spends more time locked away in her chamber to brood. Gloria does her best to accompany mother when she leaves home, and Nathan's letters mention her steps echoing in the hall in the middle of the night. There is one more thing Nathan mentioned. Stephan and Gloria have been fighting very often these days. Stephan always tries to get under Gloria's skin, and she answers him in kind. And Stephan calls her lowly commoner and makes her shut up. You always tremble in excitement each time you see a new letter with the seal from your home province. Your fate is still bound tightly to your family no matter the distance between you. Indifferent, affectionate. So, all our brothers grow distant from us. Matters of fate. The months fly by now. Every day at the seminary is filled with study and work. You are being trained to live by your new lot. There can be no rest from service to the twins. You are well acquainted with your instructors now, and with each passing day you come closer to being their equal. Every month you and your class learn more about the sacred scriptures and the life and routine of the church, and how to guide others to live by their laws. You learn about the founding of the church and the 3 councils which the twins first disciples first established the dogma of faith. When the first council met, they pronounced that the twins' fate would be the only fate that the Tempest dynasty would rule and land by their will. They were chosen they were chosen by the gods. The first council also condemned all magic within the empire other than the wonders sent down by the twins themselves. The Inquisition was created to enforce the order established by the twins and cleanse all heresy and sorcery from hearts, minds, and bodies. The mages and witches were offered two choices. They could either accept the color and reject their powers, or perish in the ritual of purifying flame. When the Second Council met, the Holy Order was founded. It became the mighty sword wielded by the Church against its enemies. Nobles sought to serve the twins with their arms, formed the ranks of this order. When the Third Council met, the two books of Prophet Isatius and the account of the twins' own lives were deemed the sacred scriptures of the faith. It was then pronounced no more council will ever be convened, so that the foundation of faith could never be wrapped. The main dogma of the faith are the same for everyone. However, seminary students prepare for the lot that lies ahead in a different way. Some of them study scripture, spending hours at the temple every day, attending every sermon and mastering the art of preaching. Janine often appears among their ranks. These preachers ardently follow the age-old tradition of dogmas, doing everything just as it was done hundred years ago. Others, you call them supplicants, rarely attend sermons but spend plenty of time in prayer rooms and temples and by the altars. You know, these supplicants are seeking the twins within themselves and looking for them in signs and revelation they experience. There are still others who are never seen during sermons or in prayer rooms. You only see them during lessons, and when a lesson is over, they cross the gate to the seminary and disappear into the city, often waking you up when you return in the small hours of the night. The secret society you call the students, who are clearly united by a shared mystery. There are only a handful of them. When they meet, they sit at the same table and speak in hushed whispers, falling silent if anyone tries to approach them. You have not joined any of the groups yourself for now. You spend your days and nights studying. Today is yet another ordinary day at the seminary. You sit the commoner's room reading a book. Then Janine approaches you. Why are you always alone with your books? You should learn from your elders and attend sermon if you hope to walk the path of the priest. We can go to the next sermon together if you wish. You promise to consider her offer. As priests, you will be bound by a lot to the will of the twins, not the will of your instructor. Still, the will of the twins is a mystery, and their revelation are very involatile. Come to think of it, learning from senior priests and the studying of their habits might be the best way to understand your loss. Lost in thought, you look at the enigmatic handful of students sitting in the faraway corner of the hall. What mystery are they hiding? What path have they chosen to walk? You need to decide what to do next. One way or another, Janine is right. Your books will never do your preaching for you. Join the preachers. I could gain theology. You begin attending to sermons and learning how to preach. You search for the divine within yourself. You begin praying more often, calling to the twins, striving to learn more about their wisdom and partaking of their will, love, and law, or infiltrate the secret society. You grow closer to the enigmatic group of the seminary students, hoping to learn their secrets, but will join the preachers. The bell summons everyone to the evening ceremony. You step inside the temple, walk towards the great hall, where you spot Janine among the crowd students. The group of students nods to you. Janine smiles brightly when she sees you. Together with the others, you hang on the preacher's every word, repeat the scriptural passage he cites, and pray with the other students. After dinner, your group assembles in the seminary yard. Janine looks at you inquisitively. We are all testing ourselves, seeing if we can preach on our own. You will never succeed if you never try. How about you try preaching to us? Let's see how your preaching sermon of blessing. You spend several minutes mentally preparing, then begin to speak. You aren't especially nervous, but maintain a proper cadence, and intonation turns out to be difficult. Every word you say must serve to guide others to live by their lot. This turns out to be harder than it seems. You describe your first encounter with the Silver Sea, how its majesty left an impression on you, how you later read about the same impression from many books written by others, how you realize the greatness of the gift from the twins to the people. Your congregation reacts with quiet approval. Your first ceremony seems to have gone rather well. As they go by, preaching to the crowd gets easier. You see the sermon at the temple in a different light now, taking notes to the figures of speech and change in tone. The reaction from the congregation, writing down the priest's most crucial expression. These realizations, combined with everything else you have learned at the seminary and thoughts, they coalesce into speeches and sermons that can inspire and motivate. In addition, you learn to cite the sacred scriptures by heart. You see your memory improve and your thinking becomes more regimented. Your words taught and actions become more pure, more sincere. At the same time, a strange feeling grows in you. Every day is a walk along the same path as a repetition of the same words. Each new sermon that you give seems to bind you more and more. It feels like you are always being watched now, watched closely by an intense, implacable gaze. Theologist. I only need 2 more points. If I can get them. Okay. So as I reached age 19, it's time to end once again. Next time I think we'll finish our youth. And who knows what awaits us after that. I really hope that we'll be able to become a prophet, but we'll see. So this will be all for today. I have been DNA in Games. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to comment, and I'll see you on the next one. But until then, have some great days. Bye.